So there's a YouTube video that you can go and find that is of a leopard that has captured an impala. An impala is kind of like a deer with the big, round horn kind of things. And so we don't see the fight or flight, but we see that the impala now has gone into disconnection, disassociation. It's got its neck over. It literally looks like it's dead. You can't tell that it's breathing. And the leopard is now resting before it eats its lunch, I guess. And it's done this in baboon country. And so we start seeing these, baboons coming out of trees, and they're like, we don't really want this leopard in our territory. And so now the leopard has a decision to make. Does it want to tangle with a full-grown baboon in order to keep its meal? And no, it does not. So it kind of hisses and then it skedaddles. And so the cameraman is kind of all over the place. And we see some other creatures out on the safari. And then it comes back to that impala, who still looks like it's dead. And after a minute or so, all of a sudden you see the belly of that impala go. And that goes on for a bit. And then at some point, the impala makes its way up into a seated position, and it begins like violently shaking back and forth. And then it makes it all the way up into a standing position. It shakes things off, and then it scampers back off to the herd. So what we've just seen is Mother Nature's way of basically recalibrating trauma. Now, the impala, unlike us, does not have a forehead. So literally that happened like within 10 minutes, which means what? It means that our advanced prefrontal cortex is getting in the way of trauma being able to be down-regulated pretty quickly. So because we go into abstract reality to where we're imagining what everybody else is saying, doing, whether it's abstract past, abstract future, or even abstract now, and none of it really has to be true, but the body is still keeping score. So it doesn't take 15 years to heal something. It can take 15 minutes if there's safety. And we now have 20 plus different somatic modalities that are kind of out there that we can utilize that come in. Some are very surgical strikes. Some are very, lower yourself down in a hot tub of process as well. So that's why we have this book right here, Soma, which, is kind of like a coffee conversational field guide about the mechanisms of somatic process, to where we're doing one of two different things. One is we're either surgically trying to get an arousal trauma cycle to complete, where we've dysregulated at some point, and the anxiety or the trigger is a symptom that still exists within our nervous system, and we want to finish that because we don't actually need that protection anymore. So there's things that have come on board maybe in our childhood that are now actually blocking us from connecting and growing, even though they might have helped us survive childhood. So we want to be able to identify those things, target them, and then process them so the energy that they're using gets returned to us, because there's so many places in our lives, like being present, that we could use that energy. The other way is actually practicing presence in some way, where we practice moments that are really struggling with, where we stay 5% longer, we stay 10% longer. We practice meditation or mindfulness in such a way that we begin training our neural system that it's okay to be in uncomfortable places, and that we can survive and still be okay. So both of these are kind of different categories of how we can begin shifting the way the nervous system is holding its reality, especially for those moments where we're getting dysregulated when we're trying to be connected to the people that we actually love.